Installing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on TeknoParrot. What the fuck? I'm technically not a technician, and in today's video, I'll show you how to install TMNT by Raw Thrills so that it will boot and be playable. However, before we do, a word from legal.
This video is for educational purposes only and is only intended to show you what I've done and what my results are. If you choose to modify your systems using this or any other information I've provided from any video or content I've created, you do so at your own risk. This channel, or any person connected to this video, will not be held liable for any choices you make with your hardware or software. Modify at your own risk.
I'd also like to remind you that this channel does not support software piracy. This video does assume that you've installed TeknoParrot, its needed dependencies, that you've taken the steps to sign up for a free account, and that you've become a subscriber. If you haven't, don't worry. I have videos on both topics, which I'll link to above and in the description. Just as in the past videos we've done covering TeknoParrot ROM installation, we'll first need to extract the ROM files into the TeknoParrot ROMs folder. To do this, I'll expand the compressed ROM file to the right side of my screen using 7-zip, and then I'll expand a folder to the left side of my screen. Once both are in place, we'll simply drag and drop the TMNT folder into the TeknoParrot ROMs directory. The entire process took about 40 seconds, and I'll speed this up to help save us some time. With our TMNT ROM files in place, let's open TeknoParrot and add the arcade to our build. To achieve this, we'll click on the hamburger menu at the top right, and when we do, a new menu will be displayed. We'll wish to click on the Add Game option, and once done, we'll be taken to a list of arcade cabs that are compatible with TeknoParrot. We'll need to scroll down to the TMNT arcade and highlight that option. Then we'll need to click on the Add Game option on the right side of the menu. Doing so will kick us back into the TMNT arcade menu, and from there, we'll need to select Game Settings and set the game's executable. I'll also change my gamepad type, and when we're done making the changes we deem necessary, we'll save our settings. We'll now move over to configuring the controller. I'm going to set the test and service buttons to the D-pad's up and down arrows. I'll be setting the volume buttons to both the shoulder buttons. I'll be setting up Player 2's coin mech and controls to play using Michelangelo, better known as Mikey. I'll use my left thumbstick's X-axis for my player's controls, and the same for the Y-axis. I'll bind Player 2's start to my controller's start. The attack will be bound to the A button. Turtle power will be bound to the X button, and lastly, the jump will be bound to the B button. When done, hit save at the bottom. Traditionally, at this point in our past tutorials, we'd be ready to launch the arcade and give it a demo run. However, we find that if we launch now, we'll either get an error regarding missing DLL files, or if you're lucky, you may get a good boot, but you're unable to use the player's controls. Rest assured, we anticipate these two issues, and more crucially, we have a solution. There are basically 3 items we need to make TMNT demonstrable. You can find 2 of those items on the TeknoParrot Discord server. I won't head over to Discord at this time due to community privacy. However, if you search for BepinX, you'll find a community member-made PDF that explains how to download and install the package. Before we cover that, we need to download the TMNT TP plugin, which was created by a TeknoParrot community member and includes many useful fixes. Join the TeknoParrot Discord to get both files, and a big thank you to these 2 community members for providing and making them. I don't know if this is right, but it seems to work, so I'm sharing it with you. For the Unity plugin, navigate to your TMNT ROM folder and find the DLL file that is titled unityplayer.dll and copy it into a new folder. Once done, rename the DLL file to pk-unity plugin. Those are the 3 items you need to demo this game. However, There is also one other DLL file called orenvid.dll. From what I can tell, this package isn't required. However, it does fix our graphics issue. This DLL is not publicly available, and I've personally not been able to get my hands on it. It's not required, but if found and applied, it will fix this known error. After we've acquired our files, let's look at our TMNT ROM, and if you see a folder called BepInEx, delete it. From my understanding, this copy of BepInEx will not work with our personal TeknoParrot builds. Regardless, after you've deleted that folder, grab the copy you've downloaded from the link provided in the community-driven BepInEx PDF and copy those files into the root of your TMNT ROM. Finding and running the arcade's executable is the final step in setting up BepInEx. When you run the executable, the arcade will crash. This behavior is normal and is required. From the reading I've done, it is my understanding that BepInEx needs to see TMNT run first so that it can set up some files. Because the arcade software has crashed and is unresponsive, you'll need to terminate the program manually, and I'll be doing this by getting access to the task manager, finding the executable, and ending the task. We now need to add our DLL files. From what I can tell, there are two areas that these files need to be placed in. Both folders are named plugins, with one being found in the root of the BepInEx folder and the other in the TMNT data folder. However, in the data folder, you will need to navigate to the folder named x8664 and add your DLL files there. If you are lucky enough to find the orenvid DLL file, I believe you would also place it in these same locations. After you've reinstalled BepInEx and added the needed DLL files, you should be good to launch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and be able to demo the arcade in full. If you are missing the orenvid DLL file, your arcade will still be usable, but you will experience a graphical glitch during special scenes in gameplay. Setting this arcade up does take a few additional steps. However, those steps are easy to do, and if done correctly, you will be able to demo this exciting arcade cab. This cab happens to be a family favorite, as there is a local Chuck E. Cheese that we've taken the kids to in the past for birthdays. They happen to have that cab, and we thoroughly enjoy playing it. From what I recall, we even celebrated my 40th birthday there. Regardless, this arcade is a family favorite, and I'm thrilled that it's been made available on TeknoParrot. I'd also like to point out that when I demoed this arcade, I forgot to remove my keyboard and mouse. As a result, all of my videos with Mikey also show my keyboard. I have a better video with Donnie, so we'll use it. That's my mistake. The controls themselves feel responsive. Apart from my orenvid graphical glitches, the video looks great, and the sound quality is very crisp and clear. If I can find the orenvid DLL, I'll be sure to update everyone, so be sure to subscribe to stay up to date. I have only ever played the arcade port, so I'm unable to speak to the other ports, but the arcade port is a very fun and entertaining cab to play. If you can find it in the wild, be sure to give it a try. I would argue that this game alone makes the TeknoParrot subscription worthwhile if you're unable to find this cab in the wild. The gameplay is fun. The sound effects, catchphrases, and visual details all make for a very entertaining and engaging time. I'd also be quick to point out that this game's difficulty is set so that people of all skill levels can enjoy it. And when I say all people, I mean up to 4 players at a time. The gameplay is similar to that of the classic game franchise. So if you enjoy the TMNT classics, then this game is for you. In conclusion, the game mechanics are great. The sound is crisp and clear. The game looks great other than the small orenvid error. The cab is easy to set up once you know what to do. And if we can be honest with one another, if you're an arcade enthusiast like myself, then the TMNT arcade alone is a great reason to get yourself a TeknoParrot subscription. Keep in mind that at the time of making this video, this channel is not affiliated with TeknoParrot in any way. I simply enjoy the platform. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd like to say thank you for checking it out. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it informative. Setting this arcade up can be a pain because of the extra steps, but once they're done, this cab runs great and is a joy to demo. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, click the notification bell, and share it with a friend. Please leave a comment below if you need any clarification or would like to add any helpful information regarding setting up this game. I constantly try to answer as many questions as I can from other arcade and emulation enthusiasts, and I love connecting with our community. If you've not done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can hit me up on Buy Me a Coffee, or please consider a direct channel membership. I like talking to our community members, and if you want to chat, my social media links and the links to the videos mentioned are all in the description. Remember, each of those clicks is a small action on your part, but they help this channel grow. Again, thank you for checking out this video, and I hope to see you in the next.